just decided to come on here. I got an email. Maybe sometime maybe the person might just show up. I got an email. Um, let me try and read. Yeah, so basically the person was saying he had been watching my content that is on YouTube and wanted to have a tete-a-tete with me, chat with me. So I was hoping maybe the person shows up here. But yeah, so I'm gonna be here for a while, at least for the next uh, for the next 30 to 35 minutes. I should be here and see if the person shows up. Yeah, if not, then we call it a day. But for the meantime, I hope you guys are good. I do encourage you to with um, share this with anyone. It is a rapid Q&A session. You can ask anything about money, business, investment. There's a whole lot has been going on in the background. Um, am I part of the Soviet? No, I'm not part of the Soviet. No, I'm not. What makes you ask that question? There must be something triggering that question or something necessitating that question. So, what did or what is? Do I look like do I look like some leader? Moldovan? No, I'm not Moldovan. Yeah, so I'm gonna be here for the next. I think now is about 29 to 34 minutes. Yeah, and answer any question that might come up for the sake of making myself available for the that person who sent an email. I actually thought, um, where am I from? Let's just say, obviously, I'm from Africa, so that's all I can say. Yeah, so I'm gonna be here. I think now it's now 28 to 33 minutes. Hoping, not hoping, but expecting, not expecting per se, but availing myself, making myself available to the person who sent an email, saying he or she, I mean, he wanted to talk to me because he has been watching my stuff on YouTube, and apparently the stuff I've been putting on YouTube is underrated. So, um, well, sometimes I do watch my own stuff on YouTube, and I imagine uh, I imagine a younger self of my younger self, and I do realize that yes, what I'm putting out there is not to. I say it with my full chest. What I'm really putting out there is evergreen, and it is imperative that people pay attention to. Says what is? Oh, you mean Cruvon? Well, Cruvon is an energy state craft um, investment firm, basically private equity in energy. Um, I lead it, so yeah, that is what it is. So it's just a private equity. Think of BlackRock, but for energy infrastructure, energy investment. Yeah. So that is it. I hope that is short enough. When you do these things for years, you pretty much have short words to explain a whole lot of things. So pretty much that is Groupon. Yeah. Uh, Says, do you do crypto? Uh, what do you mean by do I do crypto? Because anybody who does crypto will not tell you that he or she does crypto, and there are so many ways to do crypto. So what exactly do you want to know, or what exactly are you asking? Oh yeah. If you join my gang, first of all, I don't have a gang. It's more of a circle, but anyway, would I make money? Mm, so this is the thing. Yes and no. Yes, because eventually you will. It will take years, That is if you should follow with whatever I'm doing to take years. And no, because it is not money that we are chasing per se. It is capital. There's a difference between money and capital. Actually, there is money, there is capital, there is smart capital, and there's funds. So money is chicken change. Capital is power that follows hype. Smart capital is the power that hype follows, and funds is a combination of all. So, what benefits would I get if I join? Well, this is where you get to have the benefit of a limited partner. A limited partner in private equity means someone who reaps the benefit of any investment he or she makes in an investment um, circle. So basically, think of yourself as if you join, think of yourself as an investor in BlackRock. Eventually, you do reap the benefits of an investor. So basically, that is it. So that is the benefit you do get. And there are some little perks that, of course, I cannot mention here because again, you have to be careful when you're talking about investment or finance issues on here. You can only talk to people offline about these things. So yeah, in short, you being a part, think of yourself as being an investor in BlackRock. I mean, it is not a get rich scheme. It is not. That would be a scam. It takes years. It will take decades. For you to see the benefit of these kinds of things. So yeah. Oh, and I always say, whenever anybody shows up with the so-called Thank you so much. Whenever anybody shows up with that so-called business investment or finance vibe, please do your due diligence with the person. And now, because of AI and also all sort of tools, now it is easier or it is easiest to have information on anybody who comes online. To just do a simple check, Google check. I mean, that is what I'll do whenever anybody comes with the business or investment or leadership or finance vibe. Do a due diligence on the person. Make sure make sure you know what the person is about. And for my case, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on what's the one? What's You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on here on TikTok. You can find me on X. Do your due diligence. The name is Richard Abra. And I think if you start with LinkedIn, you pretty much see a whole lot of exactly what I am about, and from there you take it from there. Um, um, I'm into private equity, so I'm into private equity. So there's the thing. I always say this story. When I was young, I had this vision that if I did end up becoming a president, I would collapse all ministries of my nation and make them into only five. That is FEEHD: finance, energy, entertainment or education, health, and lastly defense and space. But as time went on, or as time goes on, I did realize that no, to be a politician, you have to lose a whole lot of power to be a politician. Again, I think Lex Luthor said this in the Superman comics. To be a politician, you actually have to lose a whole lot of power. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. So I didn't realize that okay, politics won't be the path to so business it is. So basically, when I say I'm in private equity, the private equity firms that I have set in motion are in five categories. First, finance. The finance part is private credit and hedge fund, and the first is energy, which is Cruvon, which is private equity in energy. The second is entertainment. It's called Under Five. The H, which is health, that is biotech and all that, is Utronox, and the last one, D, defense and space, which is called Lago. You can find all these things on LinkedIn. The most common among them is Cruvon, because why not? Energy is the epicenter of a whole lot of things. So yes, I mean, if you should just type, sorry, Kruvon, Kruvon. You pretty much will see everything you have to see. But if you want to have an access to whatever I just spoke about, you can just look me up on LinkedIn, Richard Abra, and pretty much everything will show up. And also a bit of also a bit of federal government contracting, because look, this is how I see myself. I see myself to be a walking investment. That is how I always describe myself. I see myself to be an investment, a walking investment. So much so that it is my duty that at the end of the day, whoever invests in me at the end of the day must get something. I must be an asset to whoever invests in me, not a liability. And so I have pretty much divided all myself into sections, my brain and all that. So I try to squeeze out value in everything I do. And what I'm saying, what I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to make is, or arrive at is, look, private equity keeps the money moving and all that. But at the end of the day, there's also something at the background that must be working, and that is infrastructure. And so that is where you find me doing federal government contracts and all that. So I do say this with my full chest, vehemently. I say this boldly. Whoever dares to believe in whatever I'm doing, whoever dares to believe in my vision, or whoever dares to accompany me on this journey or whatever it is, I say vehemently with my full chest that um, I'm going to make the person a very dangerous person. And when I say dangerous, I mean, I don't mean dangerous bad, but good dangerous, like, Michael Jackson bad, because I believe as a human being, if you do find your purpose, you must be able to drive or steer the wheel to make people have the best in life. And that is how I do see myself. Um, so yes, I say this always. First off, whenever anybody shows up with the with the investment, business, finance, leadership, whatever it is, with that vibe, make sure first that you do your due diligence with the person. And in my case, I welcome it. In fact, I want you to ask me questions. Because there are some questions I can answer very, very well, and some I cannot answer because maybe because I don't want, not because I don't want to answer, because maybe I don't have the exact answer to. But the ones I always say, I wouldn't say I don't know a lot, but I do know a lot. And the ones I know a lot, I know them very, very well. And the ones I do not know well, I'm in the process of learning. But I always say, do your due diligence on the person first, then let your inner vibe speak, your discernment, know whether this person is for real or not. For me, I always say this because I like to say good things about myself. A time will come, I will be a very, very, very powerful man. I know it. I can feel it in myself. I'm in my soul. I can feel it. A time will come. Um, I always say this, and you can quote me anywhere. One day, my words will break or make economies. As a matter of fact, I have a video on it on my YouTube. Those who have access to my YouTube, you can always watch it, and you know exactly what I was talking about. I like to say good things about myself because why not? I'm not here to shilly shally, dilly dally, and talk about bad things. Or I think no, no. I always know that good things are coming to me. So a time will come. I am going to be a very, very powerful person, and with that power comes a lot of responsibilities. As Uncle Ben will say in Spider Man, great power comes with great responsibility and all that, which I gladly accept. I gladly welcome because, hey, why not? So, with all this, I know I always like to let people that, look, this is where I'm going, and this is what I expect at the end of maybe the years to come, decades or whatever to come. As long as I'm alive, this is what I expect will be the returns of whatever we are doing. So I urge you to, in fact, I implore you to be a part of whatever I'm doing. And I mean, I do not try to convince anybody. I just do my thing because I know that there are people who are actually watching, who want to be a part of it. So if you come across me and fine, you want to be part of it, fine. If you don't, fine, you move. So yeah, Basically, that is it. Oh, I think I'll be gone in the next 20 minutes, then maybe if I want to come back, I just return. But yeah, uh, basically that is, so you can always ask questions if you do. Oh, I'm now realizing that this is in a way, but anyway, so yeah, you can always ask questions. I mean, again, pertaining private equity, business, investment, finance, leadership, the whole nine yards. I mean, if you have any questions based on that. And by the way, I'm also here to avail myself to the person who sent me an email concerning the fact that he wanted to speak to me because he has been watching my YouTube videos, and apparently my YouTube videos are underrated. And so I guess there's a lot to learn from that email. As far as I'm concerned, I will keep putting in the sort of content I put on YouTube. I'll keep put it there. I'll keep putting it there because the younger version of me would be much more powerful if he had access to that information that I'm putting there. And so, although I'm doing this for a select few, I'm also doing it for my younger self. And so, basically, since I want to help my younger self become a very powerful, in fact, the most powerful self ever, you know, I'm never going out of style. And as a matter of fact, when you do these business, investment, and finance related, topics, it is evergreen. It never fades out. You can always be updating, and it's not like you are catching a trend. That's the good thing. However, the bad thing is it takes a while for people to catch on whenever you're doing something business, investment, leadership related, because people, when I say people, I mean people, we do not like these kinds of things. We rather like the entertainment stuff, the trendy stuff, which there's nothing wrong there. But eventually that goes out of style. And as time goes on, people are actually getting fed up with, these trendy stuff. People now want substance. They want value. And so, I mean, if you can be in one corner and keep pushing out and dishing out to value, it doesn't matter who is watching, because you can even watch. You can have a look at my YouTube page. You know, the highest the highest I've gotten in views is 1.3K, which is very, very small. But sometimes I post, 0, 1, 2 views. I'm not worried. I'm not bothered about that because I know eventually people will catch on. And when they do, that is when people will say, well, it was an overnight success, when they do. And sometimes you also have to give time to the algorithm to know where to place you. And in my case, I think the YouTube algorithm is having a problem placing me at the right place, because again, it's all about, the algorithm supports, the viral stuff, the catchy stuff. And so if you do go against it, you kind of get punished initially, until after, it's the algorithm say, oh, okay, this is the guy we want to push out. Then it pushes you out. So it is a long game. It is a long tactic, long stride here. So it might take a while, but from what I know, you can do a video, put it there, like it can sit for like a year or two. Then maybe somewhere in the mid second year, you know, that video you did in the previous year just blows up because it is your time. So my point is you have to keep putting in the reps, put in the reps, put in the reps. And as far as what you're doing brings in value. This is not to give motivation, because motivation is a scam. Actually, motivation is a waste of time. Nobody can motivate you, not even God. No, not even God herself. God herself cannot motivate you. So motivation is weak. It's a scam. But my point is, whenever you're doing something you know it is of value, just keep putting in the reps, and eventually, people will know who you are. Eventually. So if you're coming across my page, my name is Richard Abra. I lead investment firms and a tech startup aligned with national priorities and mandates. That is national security, energy independence, and technological superiority. Long and short, What it means is I build capital systems, systems of consequence, systems that economies actually do need, that do plug into. Oh, and that reminds me, one thing about strategic founders is that they do not start something and just start asking for funding. No, the word is strategic. A strategic founder always builds stuff that economies need or economies must plug into. Things like infrastructure, things like energy, things like tech. A strategic founder builds stuff that the economy needs. Then, after, he or she invites capital to accelerate that inevitability. So that is how you go about it. You don't start something and just expect people to jump on. No, it doesn't work that way. You first of like that's why I always say that if it's good to build stuff, but whenever you're building stuff, just make sure it is something that first of all the economy cares about. Something that, and when I say the economy, I'm saying something about the government. So in short, if let's say you start something and it is something that the government cares about, your chances of succeeding, you know, is higher. The problem with it, we building stuff is we think that whatever we build is of value. No, not everything you build is of value. You know, an example, and this is not to cast any shade on the former. If you should compare a business, if you should compare a bakery business to an aerospace business. So let's say we have a bakery founder, and let's say SpaceX, Elon Musk. Now, these two businesses do operate on the same now on the same principle. In fact, business is the same principle. There's nothing too extra about any kind of business. However, what makes it different is the value. If I was the government and I was supposed to fund these two businesses, I'm gonna fund or I'm gonna push contracts to the space or aerospace company. Why? Because it is of a more of a much better frontier than a bakery business. I am not saying that a bakery business is bad. No. What I'm saying is for those of us who have started out trying to build stuff, it is imperative that yes, start small. Starting small is good because of course, where else are you going to start from? You are not going to start big and end up small. But the goal is whenever you are starting something, have in mind that eventually whatever you are starting or building will end up being something of value to the economy, something that moves the needle in the system of the economy. And when I say that, I mean something that the government cares about. The government cares about infrastructure. You can pretty much know what the government thinks about whenever your prime minister or president brings up or should I say, your finance minister brings up what do you call it, the budget for the year. That is where you know where what the government really thinks about or cares about, and that can give you a guide into what you have to build. You know, the government usually thinks about health, infrastructure, defense, national security, that kind of things. So yeah, there you go. That's one trick, one way to go about it. So yeah, and I'm comfortable saying it because I know that not everybody will do this. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. I think I have 10 minutes more to leave. So I mean to be on here. So if you have any question, you can just drop it in. Other than that, I'll just be here for the 10 minutes and yeah, leave when my time is up. Mm, I've got 9 minutes more. Then oh, by the way, I do urge you all to have a look. In fact, as a matter of fact, let me just pull it up. Let me just flip this camera and introduce you to my YouTube page. So there it is. Oh, sorry. Um, it's that's the YouTube page. Believe you me, a time to come, this page is going to be like it's going to be like no, it's not like it is going to be an empire that is eligible for IPO, eligible for investment from various investors. Is going to be the prime hub for everything concerning business and investment. And I say this because I know the kind of work that is being put into this very channel. It is just a matter of time. So yeah, we have something for you. I mean, this video is kind of interesting. How to start a think tank. Many people have different ideologies whenever think tanks have been mentioned. They don't really know how it works or what it is. Yeah, I think so far this is the best performing video so far with 1.3, I think 1.4K views. Again, I'm not really triggered about low views per se, but it's just that with the kind of value that is being put out there, my wish is that eventually people do catch on. People just do see whatever is being done or whatever goes on this very channel, because I'm telling you, um, I always say this: if you should follow judiciously or generously or religiously, no, not religiously because that word is tricky. If you should follow, you know, generously with whatever is being put on here, there's a high chance that you end up being a very dangerous individual. And I use that term, a bit loosely, So yeah, so this is the channel. As the name is Kojo Abra, which is me, and yeah, this is specially made for future investors. That is investors in infrastructure, private equity, the whole 9 yards. It's on here. But I mean, if you do watch this kind of, these playlist, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And this part is for me, exactly why you should watch what I'm doing, what I'm building, or what I have built. Yeah, that is the right sentence. What I have built, why you should follow me. It has my backbone series, my signature series, and all that. And this is for all. People need to understand capitalism. Yes, there's communism, there's capitalism, there's socialism, and all that. But it is imperative that people understand the real mechanics of capitalism. You see, you won't go anywhere by complaining about the system. Sorry about that. You won't go anywhere by complaining about the system. In fact, you can't do jack. You can't do jack about the system if you should always be complaining about this, that, yada, yada, yada. No, it is your job to know how the system works and tweak it to your benefit. And yeah, and that way, because trust me, whilst you are here complaining, some people are not complaining. Some people are actually making it big. You know, I like to think that I'm making it big because I like to say good things about myself. There's one thing, and it is one thing understanding the system, and it is the other, implementing or doing something to really understand the system. And so, if you should sit there and complain about capitalism, this, nothing is going to happen. The system doesn't care about you. Rather, you have to understand what the system is about and tweak it to your advantage. That is, it sounds kind of it sounds capitalist, but that is the reality. Complaining about the system. You see, to sort of break out of the matrix. You see, you cannot defeat the matrix whilst you're outside it. It doesn't work that way. To defeat the so-called matrix, the so-called system, you have to be in the system, but be vigilant and watch how the system works. Then pick the good things out and use it to your advantage. And the bad things, you dilute them with the good things. That happens before you can live. You can be out of the system, but you cannot be in the system and complain and expect to leave the system, neither can you be out of the system and try to defeat the system. It doesn't work that way. You first of all have to be in the system, know how it works, know the mechanics. Oh, this is how the system works. Before you decide to put pen to paper and think, okay, this is how I want to leave the system. You get it? So, and someone can ask me the question. So, me personally, am I in the system or out of the system? Well, I cannot answer that. But what I do know is that we are in a system. As a matter of fact, even if you should live with this, if you should be outside the system, you are still in a system. You get it? No, whether you are in or out of the system, you are still in a system. So it is imperative to know where you stand and know how to meander, how to maneuver, around these kinds of things. Because trust me, complaining, shouting, it won't do anything. In fact, the system doesn't care about you complaining or shouting. What it cares about is you actually understanding how it works and working with it. And if you should take 10 people, only 1 to 2 people will actually do something about it. At most, 2 people, at least one. And I mean, that's the order of the day. But the question is, would you be part of the 8 people or would you be part of the 2 people? It's up to you. You see, the information is abundant. However, funny enough, information is abundant in this day and age, but funny enough, the majority of people, I mean, is either they don't want it, they don't want to look for it, or they just don't. No, I can't say they don't have it. Everybody has access to information, unless of course you are in complete mental destitute or something. But majority of the time, most of us have access to the information. There's nothing new under the sun. Most of us have access to whatever information that we do need. And this also goes to me. Most of us have, all of us have access to information to do things better. But I mean, there's only a few of us who actually want to sit down and put pen to paper and actually do what is required. Put in the reps. Make the sacrifices needed to move to the next stage. And so yes, there is plethora sources of information. We all have access to information. However, it is only a few of us who actually do what is required. And also, this goes to me. Whatever I'm saying also goes to me. I am not preaching. No, I'm saying I'm giving a collective talk. So yeah, pretty much that is it. Oh, I have 2 minutes and I'm gone. No, time is a god you have to respect. Time is a god you have to obey. It is a god that, as a matter of fact, time is even more important than money. Although we say time is money, yeah. But the funny thing, when you do have money, you can actually buy time. You can actually buy lost time. You know, so yeah. In short, time and money, they go hand in hand. So yeah, to respect time and all that, you have 2 minutes to be on here, and after I leave, then I mean, my profile is accessible to you guys. You can always have a look at it, ask questions if you want, and all that. I'm open to answering emails and all that. Oh, and I do implore you to have a look at my YouTube channel and see whatever is going on there. There's a lot to learn on there, and yeah, I have 1 minute left. So yeah, and my hand is on the end stream button. So just 1 minute left, then I leave. Then I mean, if you're new here, you can always look at my profile, and you basically know what I'm about. And yeah, and if not, I'm sure once you've come across my page, the next time I'm on live, you will come across you will come across it again. Kind of repetitive, I guess. The algorithm help it. So yeah, my time is up. See you guys later. Stay safe.